Hello and welcome to HCS Connects. I'm Kelly Gorel with Hampton City Schools. Today we have the opportunity to meet our new Chief of Elementary School Leadership and Compensatory Programs, Dr. Stacia Barreau. So welcome to HCS Connects and welcome to Hampton City Schools.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gorel. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, and you have been here actually with us since July.
Yes.
You came over to Hampton City Schools, but you're not a stranger to Hampton City Schools. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I am not a stranger to Hampton City Schools. I actually served as the principal of Aberdeen Elementary back in 2008. So I've been gone for 11 years. However, it's so good to be back home. And during that time that I was away, I was in Williamsburg, James City County Schools. Most recently served as the Director of Special Education for Williamsburg.
Excellent. Well, we're so glad to have you back home.
Thank you.
And you've been here since July.
Yes.
So pretty much all of July and August. What does that look like in this position as Chief of Elementary School Leadership?
Well, I'll tell you, it's been quite interesting. I've spent a lot of time listening, looking, and learning. And I've been so pleased with the infectious energy of all the people who've welcomed me and embraced me. It really is the people here that make it so special.
It really is.
I've spent a lot of time talking with building leaders in all of 21 elementary schools. Just really, face-to-face conversations, getting to see the buildings. A lot has changed in 11 years since I've been away, but change for the better. So Hampton City Schools is really a model in the region and the nation.
A lot has changed in the last 11 years, specifically in the last 6 years.
Yes.
In regards to accreditation and the on-time graduation rate, which we know that doesn't start in 9th grade. It starts in our elementary grades. So what are some goals as you begin this new school year with Hampton City Schools?
So my goals align with the mission and vision of Hampton City Schools, and that's just to ensure academic excellence for every child every day, no matter what it takes, whatever it takes, I believe is a verbiage. And so our priority goal is to make sure that all of our schools are fully accredited without conditions. And to that end, my work will involve making sure that I'm supporting building leaders so that they can support the teachers, students, and families to make sure students are achieving.
Excellent. So our youngest learners and our oldest learners are returning very soon.
Yes.
Getting ready to kick off the 2021-2022, which could be a tongue twister if you do not slow down on that 2022 school year. So what are you most looking forward to?
So I think I'm most looking forward to being in the place where the magic happens, having the opportunity to be in the classrooms. Here in Hampton City Schools, we have a viable and guaranteed curriculum. I like to see how that's fully implemented. We know that our youngest learners learn best by being in person, and even in the midst of an ongoing pandemic, we're ready to receive them in person, and we hope to have them there so that they can have those high quality and engaging learning opportunities.
And we are ready to,
yes.
to receive them. And you made a comment that you've been around to all of the schools, the 18 elementary, we've got the 2 pre-K through 8 schools, we have Spratley that has elementary level grades. So, being in those schools, there's a lot of mitigation strategies that have been put into place last year and will continue this year to make sure that we've got those safe learning environments. So I'm sure that you've seen those as
I have seen them.
And I know that our principals, I've spoken with many of them, have been going into classrooms and making sure that the PPE is there, the correct signage is there, so that we're all on the same page as we begin the school year.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely about safety, it's about learning, it's still about community collaboration. And you're very excited to see in-person learning returning.
Very much so, very much so. And at the elementary level, we're touchy-feely folks. We like to hug. We won't be doing any of that, but I know that our teachers and staff stand ready to come up with some sort of mechanism so that they can really make sure they're touching on that social-emotional learning for kids and making sure they feel loved and welcomed and nurtured. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and elementary is definitely the touchy-feely grade levels for the most part.
For the most part.
But you can still see those smiles through their eyes,
yes.
through just their gestures. It doesn't have to be that we can't see their face because of the mask. And we've got lots of ways to show that we care and that we're excited that they're back.
We do.
And you mentioned the social emotional learning. Hampton City Schools is known for also being kind of a pioneer on our social emotional learning and our toolkits for our teachers and our counselors. So that's very important right now as we're bringing all of our students back for the first time in about a year and a half. We'll have all students back in the building.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, we're talking about Hampton City Schools, but we want to know a little bit about you.
Sure.
So tell us something about Dr. Stacia Barreau.
So I'll just tell you a little bit about my background and what brought me to Hampton in the first place. I am from a very small town in South Carolina. It's called Marion, and people usually know it because they pass by it or they go through it on the way to a more popular destination, Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
But I came to Hampton because I attended Hampton University.
Okay.
And fell in love with the area and just stayed here and made it my home. I began my career in education in Newport News Public Schools as a special education teacher. And during that time, I went back to get my master's in educational administration at Old Dominion University. Went back home for a little while for an opportunity to be a building-based leader, but came back here to the Hampton Roads area and just have made it my home ever since then. So
Well, what's not to love about the city?
I have not found a single thing yet.
We have the beaches, we've got the community, we've got the downtown, we've got a fantastic community that's so supportive
Yes.
of our young people and our schools and our teachers, and we have rock star teachers in Hampton City Schools, if I do say so myself.
I don't dispute that at all. As a matter of fact, as I've been in the buildings, I've seen teachers there over the summer during their non-contractual time getting ready for kids. And I've also been really fortunate to meet so many members of the community who stand ready to support Hampton City Schools and our efforts to make sure our students have what they need.
And they definitely are, even though we look a little bit normal this year, but we're not back to full swing normal.
Right.
I know last year we had a by appointment only. We didn't want visitors in the building, just to make sure that was that kind of mitigation strategy.
Sure.
Now that we are allowing visitors back in the building, but it's not by appointment only, but we can have presenters come in as long as they pre-schedule. But we're still keeping it down to parents shouldn't be bringing their students to their classrooms or dropping in. We don't want people eating together. So we're still having to kind of, be mindful of those things. But
Yes.
But definitely that community collaboration, they have been there supporting us, donating time and supplies and other items.
Absolutely. And as a parent myself, I think all parents understand and respect us for putting their child's safety first. And so, things are going to be a little different, but, we all stand ready to embrace the kids and make sure we're putting their safety first, and our teachers and staff as well.
Absolutely. Well, welcome again to Hampton City Schools. We are so excited to have you here, and especially in that position of Chief of Elementary Schools and Compensatory Programs. We know that's a huge, that's a big job.
Big job. It's a mouthful too.
It's a mouthful.
It is. It
I have
really
to keep
is.
making sure that I'm am I saying that correctly? What is compensatory programs?
So it is in this particular position, it has oversight of the Title I program, which is a federal program for students who come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. So there's federal funding in place for schools and students who meet those particular metrics, and we provide additional support on top of what's already available in Hampton City Schools.
So that again, it's a mouthful as far as the title, but it's also a lot that you're overseeing and supporting within the school system.
It is. But again, great people in place that work in the Title I department. It runs like a well-oiled machine. So again, I'm just looking, listening, and learning from them and staying ready to support them.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
I know that our community and our parents will really enjoy getting to know you, hopefully as they watch this interview. And it'll be interesting to see, all the great things that come out of Hampton City Schools this year, in particular at our elementary schools.
Looking forward to it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us on HCS Connects. And remember, it's easy to stay connected.